Can you believe that we are already in March of this year? I feel like time is flying by. However, I do have some really cute DIYs for you in today's video. Hello friends, if you are new here, my name is Justina. I like to make, create, and inspire fun art things with you through my DIYs, and in today's video, I have a couple of DIYs that are absolutely adorable but really inexpensive to make. But before we get started, if you are new here and you haven't yet subscribed, I hope you do that today. All you have to do is click on that big red subscribe button down below. It is totally free, but don't forget to click on the bell notification so that YouTube can always notify you every time I upload a new video. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. I do appreciate each and every one of you being here and clicking on today's video. I really hope you enjoy today's DIYs. Now, with all that being said, let's just jump right into it and let's art today. Today's video is mostly all about Dollar Tree's plastic eggs, where you can find a 24 rainbow pack at Dollar Tree right now, and I grabbed a couple of packs for all of today's DIYs. Our first DIY, I have two of these really tiny ceramic pots that I purchased from Michael's a while back. They were about $1 each when they were on clearance, and they do have the fake dirt on top of it. I can remove that, however I chose not to because it is quite difficult, and I just left it as is because it really doesn't hurt our project. The first thing I'm going to add to my pots is my folk art multi-surface paint in the color baby pink. This does have a satin finish, which I absolutely love, and I do have to give it a couple of coats just to really get a good coverage on all of the pots. I did paint every part of the pot, so the sides, the bottom, and the top part, including the fake dirt, just so that everything was nice and colorful and to my liking. Dollar Tree does carry ceramic pots in all different types of sizes, so you can use a different size to create the same DIY. After I was done painting every inch of my pot, I did place it to the side to completely dry. After it was nice and dried, it was now time to decorate my pot. Like I mentioned before, I am using a lot of the plastic Easter eggs, but for this DIY, I am also using some foam eggs that I purchased from Dollar Tree as well. I now wanted to add a nice dollop of hot glue right into the center of my ceramic pot. That way I can place my plastic Easter egg right into the center of it. Now this one is a little bit slanted. You want to try to make sure your Easter egg is as straight as possible so that you can stack the other ones right on top. Next, I am going to add some of Dollar Tree's Easter grass all around the bottom portion of my Easter egg. That way I can hide some of that fake dirt. I am just placing it right into the hot glue, and then I will add more hot glue to the outer edges and then pull it into the glue until it has set up and dried. Now, since these are technically a set, everything that I do to the first pot, I am going to do to the second pot as well. After I was done gluing down my grass, I then cut some of it just to give it a little bit of a haircut so it wasn't all wild and it looked nice and nestled around the Easter egg. Then I am going to start stacking the rest of my foam eggs on top of my plastic one. So the medium size one is going to go on the middle, and since the larger egg was purple, then the medium size egg is going to be the opposite color. As you see here, I put the purple egg on top of the yellow and so on and so forth. And then both of them are going to have a little pink Easter egg right on top. And once again, I am using my hot glue to attach everything together. Once that was dry, I did want to add one more thing to my ceramic pots, which was a little piece of this glittery purple ribbon. Now this ribbon was a little bit too thick, so I am cutting it right in half using a pair of scissors. That way I can glue it down into place. Once again, I'm just using my hot glue to attach it to the ceramic pot, and after I was done with that, that completes this DIY. This little egg topiary is so cute and would be perfect for a tier tray or just little trinkets around your house just to have that little Easter pop. I would love to know what you think about this DIY down in the comment section below. moving right into our next DIY, which is hands down my favorite DIY in today's video. The first thing you're going to need is just a regular poster board from Dollar Tree. This is still just $1 at my Dollar Tree, so I did grab a couple and I did grab it in the orange color. However, you can grab whatever color you want to make the same project. I am rolling my poster board onto itself to make a cone shape. Then I will take some masking tape and hold it down into place. This is just so I can get an idea of how wide or tight I would like my cone shape to be. After I have the right placement of my cone shape, I then take some hot glue and add it to the edges of my cone just to adhere everything down onto itself. And I also added more masking tape just to hold it into place. Now, depending on the size of your tree that you want to make is how big or small you want your cone shape to be. I really wanted mine to be really tall and skinny, so I did make it as tight as possible. And next I am going to stuff it with grocery bags. Now this step is optional. However, I think you should take this step on because it does make your cone a little bit more structured and not so flimsy when you add the Easter eggs onto it. So the way I'm adding my bags is I'm going to add a couple of bags inside of my cone, and then I'm going to push them down as far as I possibly can with my hand. After I was done pushing it with my hand, I took a skewer stick or just a regular stick and I started pushing even further. That way it can reach the tip of the cone as much as possible. You really just want to push it so it's nice and compact, so it is a nice hard structure for your Easter eggs. Now, if you don't want to do this step, you can always buy a cone, but I wanted to save money for the size of the cone that I wanted. Now, as you see here where I knocked, it's really nice and hard and dense, and where there is no bags, it's really flimsy, so you want that density to make this a nice structure. Easter egg tree. Now, I wanted my tree to have a base, and I am using a plastic flower pot that I had in my stash, but Dollar Tree has a bunch of different ones that you can use as well. I am going to take this outside and give it 2 coats of this Rust-Oleum spray paint in this golden yellow color, which I absolutely love for springtime. Here is how it looks after it was completely dry. I did spray the inner edge of the flower pot as well. Now that everything was ready, I am going to eyeball it and see how far I needed to cut the cone, and I decided just to cut the bottom edge of it using a pair of scissors. After I was done cutting my cone, I wanted to give it a dry fit, but as I was picking up my cone, some of my bags started to fall out. I'm just pushing them back in because I will add a little cover for the bottom of that so they don't continue to fall out. Next, I placed it into my flower pot just to give me an idea how far I have to push in so that it was nice and secured. Like I mentioned, I am adding a bottom to my cone, and I just took some craft paper, cut it into a circle, and adding some hot glue and pressing it in as far as possible so that it holds the bag into place. Since I added plastic bags to my cone, it did give it more weight, so I did add some rocks to the bottom of my base just so it doesn't topple over when we add the Easter eggs on top. Next, I'm just adding some hot glue on the bottom edges just to hold my cone into place. This is how my cone looks after I was done with it. Now, it is very tall. If you do not want your tree to be as tall as mine, you can always cut down your poster board to be the size that you need or want. Now, for the very top of my Easter tree, I am going to use a very large Easter egg. Now, I am using 2 different sizes for certain parts, so for the topper, like I mentioned, it's going to be a larger Easter egg, as you see here, and then the smaller Easter eggs is for the rest of the tree. Now, to add it to the very top of my tree, I am going to burn a hole at the bottom, and then I'm going to take a pair of scissors and shove it into the hole and just go back and forth to make the hole a little bit bigger. That way I can slide the Easter egg on top of my cone. I am going to put a nice dollop of hot glue right at the tip of my cone. That way I can slide it right into the Easter egg. Now I can also lift the Easter egg from the center and add more hot glue on the inside. However, it did hold up pretty nicely. After I have my top on, it is now time to add the rest of my Easter eggs. Now, for my Easter tree, I wanted it to look like a rainbow of Easter eggs, so I am starting off with the color pink, and I'm going to add my Easter eggs on with using hot glue. Now, this does happen to be tedious because they are trying to fall down with gravity, so you do have to hold it in place just for a little while until the glue starts to set up and dry. Now for each color of Easter eggs, I wanted it to have 2 rows of that color. So I started off with pink, and then the next row is pink, and then as you see here I have 2 rows of orange, and then I will continue that pattern with all of the colors. Now if you are new here and you haven't yet subscribed, I hope you do that today. All you have to do is click on that big red subscribe button down below. It is totally free, but don't forget to click on the bell notification so that YouTube can always notify you every time I upload a new video. Plus, I would love for you to be part of our virtual art family here. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. But if you are enjoying today's video, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button. It really does help out my channel. Now, for the very bottom of my tree, I have 2 different types of purple. I have a lighter purple, and then it goes into a darker purple, and I just think it really wraps up the rainbow for this Easter tree. Here's how it looks like with all of the Easter eggs on it. Now, it's not perfect, however, I absolutely love how it came out, and I just made it with a couple packs of the Easter eggs. Now, you can still see some of the poster board showing through, which technically I do not mind, but I do want to cover some of that area using Dollar Tree's garland. They have this new garland out, which is absolutely adorable, and it does say it is 50 feet long, and technically I only used 1 package and a little bit of this second package to completely fill my Easter tree. I removed it from the packaging. As you see here, I'm just going to cut off these little strips. They're about 1 to 3 inches long. They are different sizes, and as you see here, I'm just twisting it onto itself, so I have this little poof piece that I can stick into my Easter tree. I will continue this until I cut the whole length of the garland. After I was done, it was now time to place it into my Easter egg tree, and I'm just using my hot glue to attach it down. I add a dollop right into the little hole, and then I'm going to push the garland right into the hot glue so that it has time to set up. And as you see here, you have this little grassy part in the background. That way you're not using too much or too little in a spot, and if you don't have enough, you can always add more. As you see here, I am using a popsicle stick to help me push it further down because I couldn't reach all of the areas, and it helps prevent me burning my fingertips. Lastly, for this DIY, I wanted to add ribbon to my Easter egg tree. It was just feeling like it was missing something, so I went through my crafter stash and I found all different types of ribbon that I thought would work for this project. Now, Dollar Tree does carry a bunch of Easter ribbon that you can find right now, so there are so many different possibilities. Now, I first wanted to add my ribbon to the front of my flower pot just to give it a nice pop of color, so I really liked this blue burlap ribbon and this black polka dot ribbon. I'm just attaching it using my hot glue gun, and then I am going to layer the ribbons right on top of one another. I did add a pink ribbon right on top of the polka dot one, and then I found this wooden Easter bunny cutout that I just added right in the middle. I did make a couple bows for the top of my Easter egg tree, but this is how it turned out. I absolutely love it. I really want to make a second one, so I have a couple around the house and different size ones, but this has to be hands down my favorite DIY in today's video, and I would love to know what you think about this down in the comment section below. next DIY, I have this Dollar Tree wreath that was in their plus section for $5. Now, there is so many ways to make wreaths, but just to save some time, I bought this one because all I needed to do was add some of those plastic Easter eggs just to make this look a little bit fuller. Now, it does come with foam eggs, and Dollar Tree has extra foam eggs for $1.25 for right now that you can use instead of these plastic eggs. However, I really wanted a contrast between the glittery and the solid Easter eggs on this wreath, so I'm just adding it to the wreath using my hot glue gun, and it is really that simple. Sometimes buying a wreath that is halfway done so you can add more decor to it is worth the $5 in my opinion. After I was done with my Easter eggs, I did want to add some of Dollar Tree's burlap carrots. So once again, I'm just adding a bead of hot glue on the back sides of the carrots, sticking it onto my wreath, and that completes this DIY. Really super simple and easy to do. Is how my wreath turned out. Now remember, if you want to add more or less to your wreath, you can always do that, but I really wanted to keep this simple and easy, something I can just throw up for our spring that is coming quickly, and I just absolutely love the simplicity of it. Alright friends, that completes today's DIYs. I had a blast making each and every one of these, and I have to say hands down my favorite out of today's DIYs has to be my Easter egg tree. I really want to make another one and different sizes and different colors eventually. However, I would love to know which one was your favorite down in the comment section below. And since you are down there anyways, if you can let me know when is the best time to start decorating for spring/Easter, since Easter is in the month of March. I am kind of conflicted on when I should start decorating the outside of my home. I would love to know that down in the comment section below. Remember, if you are new here and you haven't yet subscribed, I hope you do that today. It is totally free. All you have to do is click on that big red subscribe button down below. But don't forget to click on the bell notification so that YouTube can always notify you every time I upload a new video. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for being here and clicking on today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button. It really does help out my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next one.